All right, founders, it is time for another pitch deck critique and review. And this time we've got Kyungor, and this is going to be an interesting one because it is a video presentation. This is a video pitch deck that was sent to me, and normally I would not respond to this type of pitch. And the reason is I think founders overestimate whether or not investors will actually watch a video. I won't watch a video. I just can't be bothered. And I'm going to walk you through, if you do want to create a video, how to best do it. And this is going to be a great example. Not only am I going to critique this pitch deck, but I'm also going to critique the video. And for all the rest of you watching out there, I'm going to speed through the video as well, just so that you don't have to watch the whole thing. It's pretty short, which is great. I think it's about 4 minutes. You'd rather have this come down to basically 2 minutes, but I'm going to speed through it. I'm going to make comments on it, and then I'm going to give general advice on what you should be doing if you think that your pitch deck deserves a video presentation. Before we continue, my name is Ed Kang, 7-time funded founder with 2 exits, and that's just a fancy way of saying I failed a bunch of times to your benefit because I use videos like this and I do critiques of pitch decks and, in this case, a presentation of early stage founders, especially if you're trying to raise pre-seed and seed funding. I want to help you minimize the mistakes that I made raising all the money that I have back in my day. If you're a founder and you want your own pitch deck critique and review, stay till the end of this video. I have very special instructions that you need to follow because I'm inundated with requests for pitch deck reviews all the time. And so we've had to create a special process to make sure I know which ones to be doing. And while you're there, you might as well give me a like, comment, subscribe. Always appreciate the feedback. Let's jump into this review here. Right away, the first issue was this file was sent to me via SharePoint. That meant I had to download it to watch it. Investors are not going to do that. If you're going to share, you need to share on a streaming service and make it as easy as possible for them just to click play. The other thing that I would recommend is send options. Send a link to the actual pitch deck they can scan by themselves, and also send a video option and tell the investor, watch the video, or you can scan the pitch deck really quick. Not to mention, your intro email to them should have your general pitch in there in terms of problem, solution, traction, team, few sentences each, so that they can read it literally under 1 minute and say, do I even want to open this link, or do I want to watch the video or not? That's your first pro tip. Now let's take a look at this. Right away in the presentation, Kyungor, your all-in-one platform for immigrant success. This is not speaking to the investor. You are talking to the user. As an investor, I am not the one immigrating. I'm not the one that needs a platform, an all-in-one platform, to immigrate. So immediately you're going to lose the investor here. But I'm expecting that you bring your A game, because if I'm going to sit and listen to your voice or watch a video of you presenting, I'm expecting a presentation like a YouTube video or something like that. So it can't just be you reading your slides. Unfortunately, that's what this video is. Let's play a little bit of it.
My name is Ruta Dwar, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Kyungo. I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to share our vision with you.
I'm going to give you complete credit for the courage to present this on video. But I'm telling all you founders out there that if you are going to add video, it better be super snappy. This narration already started very, very slow, and it was so formal, saying your name and going through it right away and saying, I'm going to be thrilled to do this, and then moving at a slow pace. You notice the brief second it took to go to the next slide? As I was listening to the literal clicks, there was a pause. You cannot have those if you're doing a video presentation. It has to be super tight. But now immediately, here is the first problem with this problem slide that I'm seeing. There's too much text. Am I supposed to focus on the speaker, the founder, or am I supposed to focus on the slide? And God forbid, you're going to just read the slide when I could be reading it by myself anyway. So why am I watching a video?
My personal journey opened my eyes to the challenges faced by millions of immigrants worldwide. These include lack of job opportunities, cultural differences, complex legal procedures, lack of support networks, and almost 50% of immigrants facing language barriers. It became clear that there was a pressing need for a solution to support immigrants like me in their journey towards success.
If you are going to tell your story, tell your story. Don't walk down a tall fence on both sides and try to do both. Don't try to present a slide and tell a story. Be right up front. If you're going to tell a story, show a picture of you immigrating and say, when I first immigrated here, I had one hell of a time because I couldn't speak the language, I didn't have support networks, and it was so difficult, and I fell into deep depression. I don't know, something like that. Make us empathize with you and tell the story. Now, if you're going to present the slide, then your slide better be very simplified and should only have literally 6 words on it. Immigration is hard. type thing and talk to it so that I'm listening to you talk to it versus trying to read a slide, listen to your voice, and then the entire effort is diluted. And the worst thing is that it becomes boring. And that's the last thing that you want if you're doing a video presentation, making it boring. Therefore, I'm urging all you founders, if you're going to be doing this, bring the personality, narrate it, practice it, do something to catch the investor's attention. You are performing. You are not presenting, you're performing while you're presenting valuable information. We want to get hooked and fall in love with you as a founder and then say, all right, this problem is very clear, resonates with us, and now we're going to get to the solution slide.
At Kyungo, we are on a mission to change that. We are creating an all-in-one platform designed to support immigrants at every stage of their journey. Our features include access to immigration resources, language translation services, community support networks, job listings, and cultural exchange programs.
There we go. We just read the entire slide. Why am I watching and reading at the same time? Now, there's one major issue. The problem, you didn't tell me anything about the size, the scope, and the severity of the problem. You just said it's a problem, and that's fine. I take for granted that it's a problem. I don't have any metrics as an investor to measure how many people are dealing with this problem and understand generally what I'm looking at as far as an opportunity of this problem. And the solution is very vague. It's not clear. I don't know if you are serving worldwide immigrants. Is it immigrants just to the United States? Did you immigrate to the United States? And this is where I'm getting conflicting signals. Are you trying to serve people immigrating outside of North America to other countries? It's not clear and defined. And that's where your problem solution are not clear. On top of which, your solution, you are offering a lot. Access to immigration resources, language translation services, community network, job listing, culture exchange programs. That is a really big lift. Immediately, I don't believe you can do this. This is such a wide array of services. I'm curious how you're going to get this done, but right away, I've got doubts. Now, if you told me that immigrants have to deal with all these types of services to immigrate to the United States, and there are 10 million immigrants a year, and you figured out a solution to combine all these in one automated solution, then that is an interesting play. But right now, you're telling me that you are going to offer all these solutions here on one platform. I don't believe it. My doubts are setting in.
The market opportunity for Kyungo is significant. With 281 million immigrants worldwide as of 2024, there is a growing demand for support services tailored to the unique needs of immigrants. Kyungo is well positioned to capture market share and become the go-to platform for immigrant success.
Now I'm super confused because you're telling me there are 281 immigrants worldwide. Are you helping them immigrate everywhere? This is where it's not clear. Now, there are 60.9 million USA immigrants. Are we saying 60.9 million immigrants immigrate every year to the United States? Or there's 60.9 million in the United States right now? And then you're saying Kyungo serves 3.43 million immigrants doing what? I don't understand the logic of how you are dividing everything up. On top of which, this is a top-down. You're telling me that 281 million immigrants worldwide, that's the total number. What are you charging them? How much do you plan to make from them every year? I don't have any numbers on what size this market could be. I understand 281 million immigrants. That's great. But what does that actually mean for your market analysis? And again, 3.43 million, how much money would you be making if you service these immigrants? And how did you come to this conclusion? Your map on the right-hand side is very misleading. I don't know if you are serving the immigrants. You've got a pin in the top right in China/Mongolia. Are you servicing immigrants there? I know for a fact because I lived in China that immigration system is completely different. This is a misleading slide, doesn't have enough information. And unfortunately, I think you just put graphics there for graphics' sake. I'd eliminate all that and explain your market sizing properly.
Speaking of progress, I'm thrilled to share that our Kyungo waitlist is gaining significant traction. With 12 to 15 signups a day and growing, it's clear that the demand for our platform is palpable.
You ended this slide saying it's clear the demand for this platform is palpable. I don't see it. 12 to 15 signups a day, when you're talking about 281 million immigrants around the world, that's not very fast growth. If you told me we've got 100,000 on our waiting list, well, that's another thing. But 12 to 15 signups per day, not only have you not given me a total number, you're not showing me any metrics of growth. What does that look like? Are you growing? Because if it just stays at 12 to 15 signups per day, you are not going to get there. So you'd rather be saying something like signups are growing by 10% week over week. That's traction. That's exponential growth. This is not a traction slide.
To drive growth and adoption, we've developed a comprehensive go-to-market strategy. This includes leveraging digital marketing channels such as social media and content marketing, forming strategic partnerships with immigration agencies and community organizations, and also engaging in targeted outreach campaigns to reach our target audience.
Now we got a tale of two go-to-market strategies here. The top part where it says social media, SEO, and content marketing is generic. That is not a go-to-market strategy. It's a bunch of marketing tactics put on a slide. I'd rather see you explain how you got people on your waiting list. That's a go-to-market strategy. That shows me you're thinking about it and you're actually building a customer acquisition funnel. So if you told me we put out ads or we put up posts on social media that drives people to sign up and we're staying in touch with them with content marketing, we're delivering them a newsletter, that's a go-to-market strategy. It gets a little better in the bottom right where you say immigration agencies, language schools, and cultural organizations. That becomes a little more detailed, which is great. However, I don't know what you're doing with them. Immigration agencies, what have you done? Have you paid them money? Have you signed contracts? Do you have an affiliate agreement? There's not enough information here. And I'm getting back to the point where either you're going to tell me this story, you're going to walk me through a narrative, and I'm going to go on an adventure, and you're going to say, we put out this ad, or we put out this piece of social media content, and so from this country came, signed up for us, and now we're staying in touch with them, and we communicate with them on a regular basis. That's a story to tell. But right now, you're just reading to me a bunch of bullet points on a slide that I could probably already figure out yet again just from reading the slide without the voice narration. Or you better be telling me something different and getting me excited through your narration.
Our competitive landscape includes USA Hello, Find Hello, Immigration Welcome Center, Google Translate, Upwardly Global, LinkedIn, Internations, Facebook, and Notifica.
Now, you just confirmed my initial suspicion. You are trying to do all these four things and compete with all these different organizations. And you're saying that your competitive advantage is that you can combine all those offerings. I don't believe you. Because you're telling me that you're going to compete with LinkedIn. You're telling me you're going to compete with Facebook, Google Translate. That's very, very difficult. You're putting all this together into one service. I don't believe you. And if I have that seed of doubt right here, that's going to shade the way that I listen to the rest of your presentation. I strongly suggest you go back and you pick one thing that you can do that's different or better than all of these resources combined. But right now, you're telling me you're going to do all four of these things? That does not sound plausible at all, especially the way that you're coming across. And I'm not taking away from your effort or the fact that you care. The fact that you have domain expertise in this because you've experienced it, that's a good sign. But you're taking something you care about and you're overinflating your ability to solve a massive problem.
Behind Kyungo is a passionate and experienced team dedicated to making a difference. With over 8 years of customer service experience, coupled with 1 year of UX UI design expertise and 2 years as a logistics department specialist, I am positioned to lead our strategic direction and drive impact. Levi Omolo, our CTO and co-founder, brings a wealth of knowledge with 9 years of development experience, thus leveraging technology to enhance Kyungo.
This is a good opportunity to talk about how you present your team and your bio when you're presenting live. First off, let's talk about how you'd present it if it wasn't live. This slide has got 2 paragraphs of text that I'm not going to read. You want to put bullet points in there, bullet points at a time to share what domain expertise you have, how much you worked on the problem, and anything else that makes me go, you are the formidable founder that deserves my investment. I'm not going to read this paragraph of text. So get rid of it, put some bullet points in there. The second point is, if you're presenting it live, just have 2 big pictures with single word bullet points and talk me through it. Have more visuals, have more logos. You're seeing that a slide deck that I read is going to be much different than the slide deck that you present. If you want me to focus on your voice, your personality, the way you are coming across to me through your executive presence, you do not want to distract me with text. The third is a comment on this team. You are not showing me the domain expertise that you need to actually solve this problem. My doubts have just increased tenfold. You're telling me that you can compete with all 4 domains, and I look at your bios and I don't believe it. Nobody here has actual experience with immigration. Nobody here has experience in those 4 domains that you talked about before. You're just telling me that you know UX UI and you have logistics department specialism. I don't know what that means to the immigration solution and problem you are trying to solve with it. The good thing is you've got a technical person, you've got a CTO. But by this point in time, my confidence and my belief in your ability to actually solve this problem has waned to the point where you've completely lost me. How do you solve this? You need to show me that you've got more advisors. You need to show me more traction. You need to show me that your passion has translated into real results, and that has not occurred yet. You are not going to get the confidence from these investors to give you pre-seed money.
We are actively seeking $110,000 to fuel our growth and scale our impact. $50,000 towards development of Kyungo, $20,000 towards marketing expenses, $30,000 towards initial staffing for 3 months, and $10,000 towards legal and administrative expenses.
You're sending me so many mixed signals on this funding slide. First of all, you don't even have an MVP out there. So don't tell me you are trying to raise money for growth. You are not growing. You need to launch. You put in here development of the Kyungo app, which is $50,000, marketing expenses initial $20,000, and then you got initial staffing, salaries, benefits for 3 months. I don't know if you're going to be able to launch an app in 3 months. Your runway is so short. I want to see milestones of what you're going to do. And then legal administrative expenses, total startup cost $110,000. I don't believe that you're going to be able to launch the big app that you talked about. You haven't told me where you're going to start. You should at least tell me we're going to start off by developing this type of app that will generate this small amounts of revenue right from the beginning, and how. Not having a business model slide, how much money that you're going to charge, is causing me significant more amounts of cognitive dissonance where I'm not believing. There's a gap of information here. These numbers don't make sense to me because you haven't given me any other information to determine what those numbers actually mean. And this is the last slide I'm going to show you because we can skip the contact information slide. Let's summarize some points here. If you're going to be sending a video presentation of your deck, and I applaud you if you're willing to do that, send them as options. Second, understand that the deck that I read and the deck I see on the screen while you're talking need to be two completely different things. You need to bring your A game, and it needs to be a performance. You're putting on a TED Talk. Think of that level, or Steve Jobs at an Apple event. That needs to be how special and how powerful your presentation needs to be. So you better practice. You know how many times they practice TED Talks? Over and over and over again. Also, limit it down to 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops, and make it really snappy. And finally, as this deck and presentation prove, your startup should be validated before you even do a pitch deck. And your pitch deck should be complete in terms of it stands alone, and then you can build a live presentation from that. Don't just jump all the way to the end of the presentation. In the case of this one, Kyungo, I think you need to go all the way back to the beginning, and you need to validate or invalidate your idea and get customer discovery going. Share this feedback with other people and share this deck and see what they say. I think you're going to have people who agree with what I have to say in terms of the confusion that we don't even understand problem, solution, what the business model is, what you're actually building, what your next milestones are. There's too much missing information. While at the same time, I want to encourage you. This is a worthy problem to solve, and kudos to you for the courage to step up and to send me something like this. I hope you can take my feedback and go back to the drawing board like I'm encouraging you to, and use this to fuel and propel you into rethinking your startup, because you do have the passion for it. So go back to that and come up with something. Come up with an MVP, a real focused place to start, the land and expand strategy, the beachhead, and I'm sure you're going to get there, especially if you got someone technical on your team. Figure out what is the minimum viable product that we can build to solve one problem, one small part of the problem, and get all these immigrants jumping on board, and then you can start to expand from there. That's what I'd like to see. And I'm going to tell you personally, I've experienced with this because my wife immigrated from Korea, and I saw all the struggles that she went with and all the support that I had to give her and the support that we did not have. So I'm going to encourage you, even though this is kind of a half-baked potato, and I don't think you're going to be able to raise funds with this at all unless you have some generous friends, family, associates, or really generous angel. I want to encourage you that it's the beginning of something, and you always have a better than 0% chance of getting there. So once again, kudos to you. For the rest of you founders out there, leave an encouraging comment. And if you want your own pitch deck critique and review done, you need to leave a comment on this video, but you also need to give me a 1-sentence description of what you're building and what you plan to pitch. And then I'm going to respond to you and let you know. And then we're going to go back and forth via this email. I'm going to tell you where to send the deck, and then we can determine whether your deck will be chosen for review. I appreciate all your patience for everybody out there who's waiting for a review. And as always, it never hurts to ask to get your pitch deck critiqued and reviewed. It happens every single day, and I always try and respond. Thanks for hanging out with me on this one. I'll see you in the next pitch deck critique and review.